All right. Um, Again, welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ell Parker. I am one of the integrative massage therapists working at the Institute of Health and Healing here in San Francisco, California. This is my first wellness call. I'm very excited to be here participating with you all today and sharing with you all. And I wanted to take a moment to talk a little bit about conscious breathing. Now, I know that probably seems very simple for a lot of people, but um, it's something that I come across regularly in my practice here at the IHH and just throughout my career, which has been 15 years long at this point as a massage therapist and body worker. So we'll go ahead and just get into it here a little bit about conscious breathing. Um, we all know that we have an autonomic nervous system that maintains a basic level of life support for us. Again, a basic level of life support by mostly unconsciously regulating things like our heart rate, our digestion, and our respiratory rate, among other systems. What I want to bring to our attention today is that we can really help to optimize our life experience by exercising more conscious breathing. So if you think back to, I'm also a birth worker, so I tend to look at things from the point of view of a birth worker. And one of the most basic units of life is the breath. And all of our life experience is tied into our breath. So even with a fully functioning brain and a healthy heartbeat, it's like we're not even considered alive until we take that first breath. So, when the baby's heart has been beating for months, we know the brain is functioning. No one gets excited until the baby actually takes that first breath. And then, for most of us, we've considered life is expired and complete here on this plane of existence with our last breath. So all of our physical and emotional responses are tied into our breath, which helps to oxygenate and give life to every cell, tissue, and organ system in our body. By doing more conscious breathing, we have the ability to move into the driver's seat and kind of take the wheel by taking control of our breathing, which will help us to have some control over our mental, physical health, and well-being. So in my role as an integrative massage therapist, one of the most common things that comes across for me is chronic stress and tension. And this can be easily helped with conscious breathing. One of the things that many of my patients come in with is work-related stress and tension, and very often one of the first things I ask is, have you checked in with yourself on your breathing? Even in the middle of a body work session, I often do some coaching around breath work just because I know how important it is to the body work and how it will help to increase the benefits that you receive from the body work by doing some conscious breathing. So just a few notes here about breath work. Ancient civilizations have all utilized the power of conscious breathing to alter states of consciousness. And from a physiological perspective, breathing is what helps to facilitate movement on a systemic and even intracellular level. Breathing is also going to help to support the detoxification of our bodies by facilitating those metabolic exchanges. So with every inhale and exhale, we are helping to facilitate the movement that is necessary within our bodies just to optimize all of our body functions, basically. So there's many different systems of breathing that can be used to accomplish different things. If a lot of people like to work out, do some exercise, that's going to increase your breathing. And by increasing your breathing, that can help to increase the temperature of your body, build up some heat, which helps things to flow a little easier as well. And then you can also use breathing techniques that can actually be more relaxing for you and that can help you to relax. And like I was saying, in my role as a massage therapist and body worker, practicing conscious breathing with your massage can greatly improve and sustain the results of your therapy. Now, a lot of times when people come in for a massage, one of the main things they will say is that I'm here to relax. I want to relax. And very often, some people will not want to do the work associated with a body work session. So I kind of describe the work that I do in two ways. There's massage therapy and then there's body work. So for most people, massage therapy kind of connotates a more relaxing situation where basically, you're almost in a sedative state of being where you could take a nap or even go to sleep, which is kind of the goal for some people. And actually, that's great if you are able to get to that state of relaxation where you can actually fall asleep while I'm doing the work. And that's one way. But then there's also body work where we're basically working together to kind of work through some things within the body to achieve a specific result. So by practicing conscious breathing with your massage and body work session, it just helps you to bring your awareness to every part of your body so you can kind of feel into and be able to communicate. Well, first it starts with listening to your body, receiving that communication from your body about where you're holding tension, what may or may not be hurting you. And then on another level, you may also become aware of some emotional things, that are tied into different aches, pains, tensions, blockages, and things that you're feeling within your body. So by using the breath, it's able to connect all of those things and bring that to your awareness so that they can be dealt with. And hopefully by bringing our attention to these things and being able to process them with the support of a therapist, it will allow you to release whatever tensions or other dysfunctions that may be associated with any events or emotions that are not helping to optimize your day, basically, and optimize your health and well-being throughout the day. Let's see. So practicing conscious breathing daily can help to reduce chronic stress, tension, and pain. So how often should we be conscious of our breathing? Is it something we want to be conscious of every second of every day? Probably not. That's just not the lifestyle most of us have lived with, or come up with. So that's not the mentality that we have to do it all day, every day. What I recommend for people to do who basically have not been conscious at all, starting from zero, is I try to make it easy. I try to give people easy, sustainable tools and techniques that they can use to take charge of their lives and incorporate certain things into their life. So the easy thing that I offer and that I employ myself is basically a take 5. And that take 5 can mean either taking 5 conscious deep breaths or using 5 minutes of conscious breathing. So let's talk a little bit about that. How does that work? And why is it so important? Especially in today's day and time, at this moment where so many people have transitioned to working from home, and we've been through a lot of changes. It's important that we incorporate systems of self-care in our day. I mean, there's just been a lot of stress with everything that's happening this whole entire year, socially, in every other place in our lives, not to mention just personally within ourselves, our families, our households. It's so important to prioritize self-care. And that means you have to prioritize taking breaks in being able to incorporate self-care in your day for yourself. Maybe some of the external systems that previously were in place to help you do that are no longer there. So we really have to reorganize our lives to prioritize self-care for ourselves so that we're able to stay on top of that. So I know, and I'm a very, you know, I could be considered a workaholic, but I'm very intent on my work. So I give my work my 100% full attention. And sometimes you have projects that just can't be completed quickly. So you might be spending a considerable amount of time on your work. But it's important to take five. Take just 5 minutes to stop what you're doing and focus on, again, self-care, which means checking in with your breathing. Sometimes literally asking yourself. I encourage my patients often to stop, check in, and ask yourself, am I breathing right now? Because sometimes you're aware of the pain and tension that you're feeling while you're working. You might be at your desk or wherever. You might be on the computer. You feel the tension welling up in your body. You feel it starting to maybe reach a point where you're overcome with the tension. I encourage you to, in that moment, consider asking yourself, am I breathing right now? And for myself and many others, we've been very surprised to realize that the answer is actually no. No, you weren't breathing. And you didn't even realize that you weren't breathing. And that's because, there's different responses and things like that are happening in your day, which are causing you to cut off your autonomic response, which is supposed to be controlling your breathing. You're busy holding the tension, which is blocking the natural process of breathing to keep you well. So that's why you're building up tension. So let's jump into some of the tools and resources that I offer to support your conscious breathing practice. Some of the things I encourage people to do are to set an alarm on your cell phone. Most of us have our cell phones, or even on your computer. You can go into the settings on your computer, use your clock setting, and decide for yourself where you need to put in a break. Do you need to take 5 once an hour? Do you need to take 5 once every 30 minutes? You know what you're doing in your day and how you're feeling and how often you need to take that break. So you can set an alarm. Also, maybe you have a watch. A lot of people have smart watches now. You can put a little alarm right on your watch. Whatever it is that can get you to stop and pay attention to your breathing and give yourself that time. There's biotech devices that a lot of people have, like a Fitbit or other types of devices that are available these days. The Fitbit is just the most popular that I've seen being used. Apple Watches have some applications and things that can be used to track some bio systems. I don't use any of those. I'm a little closer to the analog side. But for those of you who have these tools, a lot of people have these tools and they aren't using them to support the self-care. So I just want to bring it to your awareness that you can use some of your technology to support your self-care as well. And even in your cell phone, you can go on your app store. There's plenty of apps out there right now. I think there's a lot more now for meditation and things like that to support your self-care. So you can find the app that works for you to support your needs. Me personally, I like to kind of, when I'm doing my take 5, I kind of like to move away from the technology. So I don't use apps, but a lot of people are so connected to the technology. It can also just be used as a tool for your self-care as well. So let's talk a little bit about the mechanics of the conscious breathing, how to do it. What are you doing? There are many different systems of breath work. So a quick Google search can open you up to the world of breath work and the many different systems that are available out there that encompass a lot of different things depending what your goal is with the breath work. If your goal is simply to relax, to relieve some of your stress and tension, chronic stress, tension, I just want to leave you today with the basic level of being conscious about your breathing. You don't have to make it a breathing workout. Just be aware. One of the things that there's several different ways that people can breathe. A lot of people employ the inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Some people inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. And then also inhaling through the mouth and exhaling through the mouth. So those are probably the three most basic ways that you can do your breathing. You can figure out which one works best for you. Oftentimes I employ inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose, or I will do an inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. I very rarely do an inhale through the mouth, exhale through the mouth. That's a more active style of breathing. And actually we can do some of that with your body work. That's really going to set some deep motion into place, inhaling through the mouth and exhaling through the mouth. One of the benefits of doing conscious breathing with a therapist by your side is that they're there to support you in whatever comes up for you with the breath work. Like I said previously, breath work, breathing is tied into every aspect of our lives, every experience that we've had in our lives. And many people know that muscles record memory and experiences as well. So as you begin doing some deep breathing, you might find emotional responses that come up, other mental, physiological responses from previous traumas in your life that may come to the surface. And some of those are the things that were hiding in your muscle and other body tissues that the breathing will help facilitate and bring to the surface. So it's nice to have a therapist there to help you release those things so you're not holding on to them. And then, you can move on in your day lighter, able to process, different events and things that have come up in your life so that they are not preventing you from living the best life possible. Wow, that went really fast. It's been almost about 20 minutes now. I think that's a good place to stop. Again, my name is Ell Parker. I am an integrative massage and bodywork practitioner at the Institute of Health and Healing in San Francisco, California, currently seeing patients on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. So I would encourage any of you to come visit me here. We can talk about incorporating breath work with your massage and body work practice. And I just want to leave you with the fact that there's going to be some work involved in the process of health and healing. And the more work you're willing to do, the greater the results will be. Myself and a lot of other wonderful practitioners here at the Institute of Health and Healing have committed our days to supporting you in doing that work so that you receive the most benefits possible and you can sustain results as long as possible. Thank you to everyone who tuned in today. And I look forward to meeting with you all again and doing this again another time.